Okay, dokie. All right. Turn it down. All right. It's been a little while since I've done a live. I somewhat know what I'm going to do, somewhat. How good it's going to turn out, who knows. I don't really have anything planned in mind. Once I did the 2 Blue Jays, that was really about it. This is more out of boredom than anything else. So, you know. Okay. I got a coat 1/2 black, let it dry. Because I might have to hello, Sonya. All right. What was I saying? I gotta paint some of this black. We're starting like bare basics right from the beginning. All right. Now, when I cover stuff in black, it's not really set in stone. But what I'm doing here right now, I gotta seal it in black and let it fully dry. So might as well do it now. So I'm going like straight from the very beginning with this. The black that I'm using is very thick, and you know, canvas. This is a 16 by 20 canvas. Might as well tell you that before I go any further with it. No water, because I want this stuff to dry very quickly, because I have to tape up the bottom edge when I am done doing all of this. So if you guys got questions of any sort, let me know, put it in the comments. I'll try to answer them while I'm doing this, because we literally have to watch paint dry. It's pretty warm here in the room, so it ought to dry quickly. It's about 93 degrees here in the room. Okay, and I'm smoothing out the paint, because once you smooth it out, no clumps, it tends to dry faster when you thin it out a little bit. Okay, I'm not using any water, like I said, because once again, I want this to tack up and dry. So even though I don't know technically what I'm doing, what I'm going to do for today, I know it's going to involve a stream of some sort. All right. Hello, Sonya. All right. All right. Hey, Billy. I don't want to do this. I don't even know if I want it this way or not, but I'll do it this way. It's all right. Something like that. Now the black is nothing but obviously just a kind of a ground color. All right, so all right. Once again, if you got any questions, just let me know, or just type it in the comments. I'm kind of going blind here. Like I said, I read, I got an idea what I want, but nothing really in specifics. There is something I want to try out cloud-wise, so that will be interesting. If it works, great. If not, I'll change it. That's the good thing about painting. You can change in midstream. But I think I should be able to get this right. One could hope, anyway. Once again, this is 16 by 20 inch canvas board. I've been told that I shouldn't really paint and sell my stuff on watercolor paper, just because it has a tendency to warp if you don't, tack it or glue it right to a hard surface. And I can kind of see that point, but canvas board's a little expensive, but of course, canvas board won't warp on you. So, All right. Like I say, this is about all the black I'm probably going to use. Maybe not. But I gotta wait for it to dry to do what I have to do with it. All right. I see Jessica here. Hello. Okie dokie. What I'm using is a 3/4 inch flat brush. As you can see, there's some patches, and it's not really important. I left a few here, but it's okay. Looks like that's going to be colored over. Even though I got this camera on, I'm looking up at the monitor just to see if this kind of looks right-ish. It's all right. I'd say it'd be a stream here anyway. I could take some tape. Well, I'll have to wait a few minutes, but I can kind of tape this off. I don't have to tape the whole thing. It's just take some tape down here just to block it off, because I'm going to do something really different with the sky. Matter of fact, I haven't done a sky like this in quite a while, so. Yeah. Okay. I'm processing things while I'm talking to you guys, which is why I'm doing these awkward pauses. Of course, I take some 2-inch wide tape, to which I go through quite a bit of this stuff. And I'll do it. Oh, something like this, I guess. It's all right. All right. It's not entirely dry, but it's dry enough. It's all right. It's okay. Then I will cut. A lot better than that. Just gonna mask this part off. We're gonna have to take care of that little snippet right there. That's gonna just be a headache to me. All the rest should just come off here. There. All right, that's, I just needed that part blocked off a little bit. So once I do the clouds and such, just don't run into any extra added headaches. That's basically it. Just a little extra added padding there. All right, and then I'm just gonna cover and paint all of that. I could probably bring that in a little closer if I sit upright. I'll just slide it over, bring it down a little bit. Since we're gonna concentrate all on this anyway. I have a touch screen on my camera, so obviously this is mostly white, so it's hard for it to key in, so I'll put my hand there. And I can see by the tape that it's in focus, and that's why you see me do some of the odd things I'm doing. It's just a type of camera, and you gotta kind of work with it, you know. All right, I'll get a little bit of this vegetable glycerin. I know some of you don't have vegetable glycerin. You can use water, but the water dries. You got to kind of do what you got to do rather quickly if you do use water. Okay, so I use a vegetable glycerin. It's a wet on wet method. Hey, Fatima, how are you? And I'll thinly put the glycerin on here. Now this is canvas, different material, a lot more sturdy. All right. This is a almost a 2-inch wide brush, but it's got a lot of bristles, and you can kind of roughhouse with it. Very thin coat of glycerin. Glycerin is clear. It has the makeup of syrup. All right. All right. That's enough of that. That's enough of that. Okay. Well, let's get on with it. We're just going to get it's going to be cloud-like texture, but it's just going to be a mass of cloud-like blended in colors all the way through. Hopefully I don't really show much white. I just want it all just overcast with craziness here. Okay. I'm thinking right now what I'm looking at, what I have. I might have to throw in some blue. We'll see. We'll see. But I know definitely I'm going to use 2 brushes for sure. That will be the fan brush and my little blender brush. I always go to the one I'm so used to do with, you know. So, all right. This well, let's have some fun. Let's do this. I might want the colors a little pastelish, maybe. So we'll bring in this kind of magenta color. I'll dip a little white in there. Okay. And we'll go right from we'll start it from here, and we'll just kind of twist and turn like this. And we'll bring it down here, just mash it like that. All right. Okay. I'll take the brush, and we'll kind of flop around with it. Your hands will get tired if you're not used to doing it this way. And I'm blending all sorts of shapes and tones and values doing it this way. You don't necessarily have to use the rounded method like I'm doing. It's not necessary. You don't have to do it this way. And I'm just going to build up variations in colors and all of that. Anything to do with red is it stains. Okay, much like you see now. It does stain. Okay. So just be mindful of that. I'm gonna just wipe off my brush real quick. You have to dry it really well. If not, the water is gonna mess with the glycerin that's already on it, and it brings you a lot of heartache. Let's go a little of the purple. And once again, I'm going to grab a little bit of titanium white, throw it in there, lighten up the purple just a little bit. So it'll make a pretty attractive color. We'll take old purple and we'll put it up around here somewhere. Come around in here a little bit. Come on in here. Throw it in here. Pop a little love down in here too. Like this. And come across. Like that. Hello Judy, welcome. Once again, we are using vegetable glycerin. Okay. Kind of blend some of that in there. I did not coat this with any I'm thinking of the word as I'm doing this. I didn't coat it with any gesso. It's just the board and the glycerin, that's all. And right now I'm working with a lot of values. And these colors, any color with red in it or a hint of red in it, it stains easily. Okay. So you can do a lot of blending, a lot of fading, a lot of adjusting. Just have a lot of fun doing, what you see me doing. Get some real interesting patterns going on. Interesting colored blends happening there. Okay. But as I do this and as I start filling up this board with color, I'll start fine-tuning things and picking out shapes and all of that to just basically kind of corral some of this. Now I have to go into white first when I use the yellow, because yellow is extremely translucent. Okay. We'll pop some of that yellow-ish stuff up in here like this. Get a nice little explosion going. Like that. Get a little bit more white. I want it a little opaque. Just pop some more yellow in there. I'll probably keep the white hovering around in here somewhere, or the yellow-ish stuff kind of playing around out here like this. All right. Kind of mess around with it. The yellow does have a tendency to pick up a little bit of your other colors, so it might turn kind of orangey looking or whatever. You don't have to kind of blend as hard with the yellow. You kind of move it around directionally if you like. Pretty much what I'm doing here. Going left and right, kind of flatten it out a little bit. All right. It's all part of the building process. I have a large beach towel on my lap, so I can wipe off a lot of the excess stuff that's going on with it that you see. All right. And what I don't like streak wise, I can just roll it in circles and smooth it right out. It's all right. Okay, dokie then. Yes, I'm going into brown. Doesn't really look like a color that really would appeal to do as a cloud, but give me a chance. Hold on. Don't cancel me out yet. Don't cancel me out yet. Looks strange, But actually this brownish color will help bring out some of that purple and red, believe it or not. Like I say, we'll fine tune things and get it stuff moving around here. The main thing really is the blending. Okay, smooth that right out. I can feel my paint starting to tack up a little bit, which is a good thing. That's cool. I think I want a little bit of blue in here. So, like I say, some of the colors you won't see on my board unless I turn the camera up a little bit. You see all that stuff happening back there. You know, I'm just really picking and choosing colors, so it's not really important right now. I'm not really mixing anything. But as I do this, like I haven't done clouds like this in a minute, or it's been a little while. I'm not necessarily going to put white in this blue as of yet. The darker the color, the more the other colors kind of recede on you. Okay. I'll keep this kind of hovered toward the top up here. This is called accidentals, meaning that you don't necessarily know which way this stuff is going. You can aim it, and that's about as good as you're going to get with it. Okay. Once again, I'm going to just kind of mess around with it, fade it, have it travel a little bit, guide where it goes, smooth out some of those roughened edges. I can have it go that way. Like I said, I can feel the paint tacking up, which is cool. That's all right. It can tack up. Because what I'm going to do is blend all of this anyway, so it doesn't matter. And like I say, once I get to really fine-tuning things, it'll make a little more sense. A little bit of brown. I kind of want this a little darker up in here, so I'm going to be a little more directional with it, like that. Actually, I can just take this brush, because you can blend with a fan brush. A long time ago, they used to call them fan blenders. And so I can just take the brush and very softly, we'll just soften up some things here. I want the intensity, but I can kill the edges. And you just keep blending it away. Nice traveling cloud-like shape there, like so. It's mixing in with that blue. All right, so it gives you a nice little ominous look up there. We'll kind of pop some of that up in here like this. Have it travel. Maybe up here a little bit. Borrow some. Bring it up here. Okay. I'm gonna still use the brush. I'll just blend it with the brush. Yeah, I got a few sizes of the Hake brush. But like I say, my tacky stuff or my glisten's getting a little tacky. And I'll just lightly, see here on the bottom, I can go just left and right. Because I don't want to get rid of the direction of them, but I can soften up some of those hard edges. A lot of the tones is what I'm looking for anyway, so it's all good. It's all good. All good. All right. We can start playing around with some things here. Okay. I'll go into this magenta. I'm going to add a little more white to it. And we'll go, yeah, pretty much in a little more white than that. You'd be surprised how much white you would need, believe it or not. And we'll start to kind of get some stuff floating around here like this. Okay. And kind of bring a few bits up in there like that. And very softly, I'll start to soft. You can use a smaller and I'll use a smaller smaller brush to do some of these. I'll pop in a couple here like this and come on down a little bit, come out here, something like that. This brush has more of a little point to it. We'll just wisp some of that in there. Wisp it in the direction you want, and then you softly blend out the rest. So I'm just really doing a lot of playing around with the values. Get a little bit of the deeper color, and we'll play around right by that yellow. See, all up in here, like that. And just softly blend it. I'm going to keep the red on there. Pop a little dark purple in there somewhere. Same premise. Oh, we'll pop some of that purple up in here like this. Come up in here. Pop a little bit of that all up in there like that. Come out here and just fade that out. Go left and right a little bit. Just kind of blend it. I can add a little more force to it because once again the glycerin is starting to dry. You know, that's a good thing. Where I might want it to blend a little more, add a little pressure to it. Like that. It's beginning to look pretty cool, pretty interesting. Give me a second, let me clean off the, now the mop brushes retain a lot of water. Be mindful of that. I do have a large bucket with a shoe rack in the bottom of it. Clean this stuff off. Hey Madonna, how are you? Yes, It does look like a mess, Judy. The majority of my paintings do. You go through the what Chrissy Canvas would say the ugly duckling period stage of the painting. Okay. I'll use a smaller fan brush. Actually, I can get away. Yeah, I'll use a tiny fan brush. It's okay. All right, let's go with some. Let's go a little bit of white and with the yellow. I don't necessarily have to use a fan brush. I could have used a smaller brush, but we'll just use a fan brush. And I'll pop in a couple little bright marks in there like this. Almost like what you would call them, silver linings, something like that. I'll just kind of tap them in there. Once again, I can blend this with this very brush. Okay. And this is actually a thick hog's hair brush. I can keep blending it. It's all perception. What do you want blended the brightest? What do you want to really show? What do you really want to highlight more? Stuff like that. Really up to you. How much of that you want. I usually do it for a second or two, try it, see if I like it. If not, I'll move on to another brush, smaller brush, or whatever I think would work at the particular time. I need it more white than yellow. I have to add yellow in it, but a little more white than yellow. And I use water, no glycerin. Water and glycerin aren't the best bedfellows. Water will take glycerin off the board like a hot knife through butter. So be mindful of that. So if I want something a little bit brighter, kind of stick out a little bit more, then I'll do what you see me do here. And it just makes it stand out a little more. I tend to roll my brush a little bit, all in what I want perceived, what I want it to look like. All right, I'll roll my brush around here. Once again, if you see me looking in the direction of the camera, but I'm looking upward, I have a 40-inch TV up there that I use as my monitor. And as corny as it sounds, it looks like another person's painting it. So it gives me a proper look of how things are turning out. I know it sounds strange, but it's actually true. And I'll just kind of twirl things around, just looking at it here and there. All right, now you see all sorts of glowing things happening. Things are starting to come together a little bit. I'm adding a little bit of that silver lining into the maroon or magenta color, just to give a sense of aerial perspective, where these guys are at in this painting. All right, remember, anything brighter brings it forward, anything darker brings it back a wee bit. Okay, so as I'm playing around in all of this lightish area here, so it brings all of this forward some, And the darker, even though they're pastel-y colors, they're darker than the yellow. And so it goes back. Okay. So in case you're wondering why things are looking the way they do, that's why. It's all about perception and color and what the colors will do for you. Okay. But that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. I think I want it pretty much around in that area. Let me show you something else while I'm at it. Even though they're darker clouds, I can tease a little bit of love even for the darker clouds up there. Okay. You can establish distance even with the darker clouds. I'll put a couple of them up in here. So even in the darker clouds, you can kind of tease some silver lining type of deal up in here, especially up toward the top more. Because what it will appear, okay, is that these clouds are coming above and past this maroon stuff in the middle. I have postnasal drip. It's very agitating. I can't help it. It's just something I was born with. One of the gifts my mother gave me is very agitating. But now you have to remember where you are with this, okay, and how far you want to do this. All right. I'll put it right toward the top too. And basically, what I'm doing is bringing that. It's like it's close here, far back here. The darker stuff is close, so it's looming up above like that. You got me? Follow me? All right. Hey, Mark, how are you? It's been a minute. So I pick and choose my spots where I want to put this stuff. But as you can see, you can make something that's brown and got purple in it and crazy. You can make that look appealing. Also, like I say, it's all placement, all colored, where you want these colors to aim toward. Okay. All right. Okay. Don't know how wet it still is. I'm gonna try something right now. Let's see if it works. If not, no big deal. I don't think it's gonna work though. No. It's not wet enough, but that's cool. If it doesn't do it, it don't do it. And it's not gonna do it, but that's cool. No matter how hard I press, so it's starting to dry up. That's a good thing. That's all. It's all good. I could add it in there, but I'm not going through the hassle. Once again, just the colors. Everything seems to be all right. Everything seems to be cool. Seems to be working. So, okie dokie then. It's all good. All right. Let's get rid of this. We really don't need this anymore. All that was, let's bring this down a little bit. We'll keep it. I must have moved. No, I didn't move it. That's right. It's kind of, as you can see by the bottom here, I can adjust the stand to even that out, but you guys can see it. It's all good. The way the camera is positioned, I have it even at the top. Well, at the top here. All right. Not at the bottom. I would have to move the stand and slide it, but I got my paint tray back here. That kind of kills that, but it's all right. It's all good. Okay, so this is starting to tack up and dry. Fine. I did really somewhat what I wanted to do with it, and that's all good. We can work with the reflections here. We'll do that next. Very simple to do that. I'll still deal with the glycerin for this part also. It's not that hard. Just come down here and just kind of wet it up. The glycerin, once again, all it does is make the paint nice and it would make the board slick, obviously. I'll borrow some from here. Put it down here. It's basically liquid clear for acrylic paint. It's water soluble, which is why I use vegetable glycerin. Okay. And it prolongs the drying time of the acrylic paint, because you know acrylic paint dries notoriously fast. Okay. Okay. Put it on thin. If you put it on too thick, the paint sits on top of the glycerin and it tends to move around. And when glycerin dries, it expands, which is, you get very rarely, you get streak marks. Okay, line marks. Okay. Okay, that's good enough right there. Okay, you can play with the colors you just utilized. All right. You can mirror what you see up above, which is probably what I'll do, most likely. So it'll be the brownish blue purples here, the magentas, and somewhat of the yellows. You can do it that way. You can do it the other way, where it's like almost a rainbow color. Put the brownish stuff on one side, the magentas and the yellow in the middle. You can do it that way, whatever way you want to represent it. Your painting, you do as you feel. Okay, so. I don't know if you guys got this issue, but for me, on this particular phone, I have to come in and out of the chat. Nobody's saying anything. Somebody say hi, say something. Every time I'm live, you guys are the most quiet crowd. Okay, anyway, let's get this moving. Let's go with a little bit of, I'll mess around with the purple here. It's the purple, brown stuff. I'll just put it right here for right now. Okay. Purple, I'll just dip a little bit of brown in it like that. Kind of just pop it in there. If I gotta go darker with it, I'll go darker with it. Who knows yet? Don't know yet. We'll see. I'll just keep messing around with it till I get something I like. Remember, the glycerin lays on top, or the paint lays on top of the glycerin. So you're gonna have to manipulate it and move it around and play with it a little bit, all right? You keep doing it until you find something you like. Now, I'm comfortable with it. I know what it can and can't do. For those of you who might be a little new to it, you just gonna either listen to me or you find out for yourself what you can and can't do with this stuff. All right, but it's pretty fun to play with it. All right. Okay. After each pass of color, obviously you clean your brush off. All right. Hey, Moo Moo, how are you? Working and lurking, all good. All right. I do the same thing, so I can't get mad at you. If I'm watching Bruce or Sonya or somebody, I'll shouldn't have did that. That's what I didn't want, but I'll add a little white to it. I'll lighten it up a little bit. All right, I'll come up this far. It's all right. It's all good. And then I'll bring it down. Just like that. I'll just blend it all in there. I didn't want to do that, but I wanted to actually add a little bit of blue in there. And I can wrap around in here somewhere. Just spread it like that. See, the glycerin allows you to spread it, and you can play around with it. So it's really how much of it you want in there to do what what you wanted to do. Let's pop a little bit of that blue in here. Just a little bit. I might end up popping some brown. No, I won't. I won't. Never mind. Scratch that remark. Scratch it. I'll just do one of those numbers. Scratch it. Continuously go back and forth. But you kind of see what's going on here color-wise. All right. Now, as far as the yellow is concerned, I would add a little white in there, to which you see I don't have any. I'm pretty much going by the seat of my pants concerning this stuff. Okay. Get as close as I can up there, and then just like that. Pop it in there. Mix it in there. And don't be scared about doing this. You're not going to see that. It's all right. Relax. Chill. You'll be all right. Hashtag don't panic. Little blue, little brown. Come down here and make it a little darker. Matter of fact, I'll sneak in a little black in there too, just to beef that up a little. And adjust your hand pressure also. That'll help. I just want a nice transition of that dark going up in there. Okay. All right. So you got a nice, well, you don't see the top, but it's a nice little even thing we got going on there. Okay. All right. I could lighten this to match that, but I'm not going to. I'll just take a smaller brush and just brighten up what I got over here. Easy peasy. I'll take this brush, it don't matter. We'll brighten it up a little bit. Just take a little touch of white into the yellow that you already have. All right. And I'll just come up here. All right. And I'll just brighten it up a little bit. And if it's not bright enough, guess what? Add more white or yellow to it. It's all right. Just want to get a nice little shine thing happening right up in there. I don't have to go all the way. Get a little bit of yellow and pop it in there. The yellow's going to sit on top of the white. Okay. And just keep at it till you get the glow that you're looking for. And that's all I'm going to do. I'll keep at it, keep doing it until I get the shine that I'm looking for. A little bit of yellow, a little bit of white, a little bit of yellow, a little bit of white, a little bit of yellow, a little bit of white. Just keep adding. I'll just tap it in there. I'll go my little circle motions there a little bit, smooth it all together. I don't have to go all the way. All right. patch it up. You're all right. Okay. As I'm looking at it, I may throw in some sun rays going in there a little bit later. I think that'll work. Very simple to do that too. I'm looking at the board because you don't see the reflectiveness. Glycerin is very reflective. All right. Once it starts to dry, it obviously becomes less and less reflective. And I see little patches of it, but we can work some sun rays in there regardless. I'm gonna probably do those in a few seconds anyway before I tend to this up here. All right. It's all good. You guys can alert. I alert too, depending on what I'm doing. If I watch Sonya or Bruce, and if I'm driving or if I don't have the opportunity or the time to text, I'll do the alert thing. But as you can see, look at the top. You see how the top is even with the border? Okay. But if I bring it downward, you see how it's kind of angled? Now, if I wanted this to be more flat and straight on, I'd adjust my stand to do that. And won't be necessary really. Okay. I'll do some quick sun ray things here. Okay. When I do the rays, I don't necessarily have to start right here. All right. I think it'd be a little more effective if I bring the rays this way, starting with the magenta and then going outward. All right. So it'd give us some kind of heavenly look. Whatever. I'm going to use tape, and what I'm going to do with this tape, I'll go from the middle, go right to the corner. Okay, at least approximately. Why did I do that? Because if you go from the corner, you can go to the other corner, and you pretty much don't have to do a lot of major adjustments. Depending on how sticky or how wet this stuff is. Now, if you're doing oil paint, don't try it. Not good, not wise. Oil paint just don't dry that fast like that. You can take the tape, put it on the towel. All right, you get little hairs and all sorts of crap on it, and it doesn't make it as sticky. Okay. The bell mic comes off. So if you're concerned about that, let's say you don't know exactly where the middle is on your painting. You take a little bit of white paint or whatever, and you just plant a dot somewhere. I'll pop the dot right in here somewhere. There, you guys should even be able to see that dot. All right. Am I worried about the dot getting solid and whatnot? Not necessarily. Okay. Let's do one, who knows, we'll do one right here. So we just put it in places there real light-like. All right. You don't have to press it on there, whatever. Just what you see right here is fine. Let's take, we'll take any brush, something like this, even one that's kind of got straggles on it or whatever. It doesn't have to be the most perfect brush. All right, let's take, can you guys see this? No, well, you guys can, but you can't. Yeah. All right. Let's take a little bit of white. We'll pop it right there. Take a little touch of yellow. We'll pop it right there. We'll just kind of mix it in there. Like that. All right. We'll look at it real quick. That might be all right. That might work. But you wipe it, almost wipe, like you just spent that time putting that paint on there, and you're going to wipe it off. All right. Don't start from here. You can start from like around here somewhere. Very light. If you have to put most of this paint on this blue strip of tape, do that. But very light. Start from around in here. Very light, and just go on like that. You got to keep doing it. And I'm gonna start right from there. I'll just keep brushing. Keep brushing, same direction. Just keep doing it. All right. I'll just keep on doing it until I feel it's good enough, and you end up with one of those guys. Isn't that cool? Pretty neat, right? All right, let's do another one. Let's do one a little wider, and we'll put it right. I shouldn't have did that. Let's go up a little bit. Right about here-ish. Just put it on there real light. Don't go down here and you know, use your knuckles and wipe the glycerin off. I'm gonna try for a little bit of a wider swath of a sun ray. Okay, very light. Now I'm a little more brave because I've been doing this for a minute. If I got a little too much on, I wipe it off. No big deal. All right, something like that. A little wider. Kind of looks like that. Isn't that sweet? Pretty neat, right? You can have some a little brighter. You can have some a little darker. Up to you. It's your world. You do as you please. Do what you feel you must, all right? Put it on very light. If you want one, like I say, a little bit brighter, just add a little more white. All right. Up to you how bad you know how bright you want it. I kind of like them off of the magenta. So this one here, I'll go a little lower, like that. I'll go a little bit lower. I want it a little brighter, so I'm pressing down a little harder. Now, even though this line is steady, you can make this line a little wider if you want. Be real slick about it, though. Okay. See, I can expand that a little bit, like that. I really bring it out there. It just comes with practice. Okay. I'll go there for the front bottom. Right about here. Cool. All right. A little bit of white. A little more white than yellow. All right. Something like that. Okay. Oh, let's expand that one a little bit more. Like that. Let's put it right out there. Like so. Yeah, we're good. That's cool. You don't have to spend a million years on it. All right. Something like that. 1, 2, 3, 4. We got to add an odd number. That's 4. 2 even. Put another one on there. Oh, right about here. That's cool. It's like that. Odd numbers appeal to the eye a little better. You got me? Of course you do. Odd numbers. I'll play around with that little spot of yellow right there. That little. We'll just make it a hole in the sky and have the sunlight come through that way. All right, something like that. All right, so you got a little hole in the sky there. Okay, if you want to be a little extra, since it is a little glow there, you don't have to do this. But you know, if you want, you can kind of pop some little bit of brightness in there. You kind of brighten it up a little bit. Actually, a little bit of white in there. Just a little touch. Something like that. All right. All right, that's cool. When you're done with it, you get rid of your little speck of white or whatever is over there. Pop some yellow on it and make it go away. It's all right. It'll go away. You won't even notice it. All right. And well, there you go. Okay. So let's barely zoom out just a little bit. It's not too I think we can get everything once I go up a little. No, I can't. It's a lot bigger than I thought. My bad. Let's do that. And we'll even it out like that. Now, it's taller than I thought. Right about there is cool. Okay. I'll get the focus in there. Okay. So now we're playing around with aerial perspective. Okay, whatever's brighter gets closer, whatever is darker goes further back. But since we got our silver lining things going around in here, okay, brings it closer. Got nothing here, but you got the silver linings. Well, they're still silver lining, even though they're light brown. Still silver linings, but so now you got your clouds looking, coming forward, going back, and looping around, coming forward. So forward here, and forward up there, back there. All right. What kind of adds to that are the sun rays. Okay. All right. All right. Relatively a simple painting, really, because mainly it's the colors that are being shown off more than the landscape itself. Okay. All right. Like I say, I'm looking at it from the screen above, which is why I'm looking at this sometime, but I'm so used to looking up at the monitor and not having this on. Okay. Hey, Madonna. Okay. So, what do I want to add with all of this? I can put the water lines in there, sure. That can come now or it can come later, you know. But I can do that. But I'll probably end up doing it a little bit later. It depends on what I'm feeling, how I'm feeling. Okay. All right. What do I do? I mean, I can make it look like just a bunch of rocks, which would be like really unappealing. Or I can just have it look like grass of some sort or whatever. I can adjust the scale of what I want it to look like. All right. Pretty much do whatever I want as of now, as far as this is concerned. Okay, so I'm studying it, I'm looking at it, I'm checking it out to see really what I want to put on there. While I'm debating, let's mix some colors. I have a little bit of, oh, there it is. There's the black. I'll use some black. Can you guys see what I'm about to do here? There's the black there. I'll just put it, let's do this. Let's bring that up here. Can you guys see? Yeah, you guys can see that. All right. Got a little black here. Okay. Got this yellow here going on. I'll put the black and the yellow together. It makes green. All right. All right. Like that. Okay. We'll start off with this for beginners. All right. All right. So we'll come back in here and I'll throw in very lightly at the top here, just like this. I'll kind of, and this is just the beginning. It's, you know, just me putting something there. Get this similar to some faraway trees or something there. And then I'll kind of come out here and do one of these. All right. I don't care about stuff going in here. That'll be taken care of. I'm not really worried about that right now. Right now, I'm just kind of putting in texture. This green is extremely dark, which is why you barely see it with the black, but it's okay. It's all right. Don't worry about it. I'm just putting in a little texture. You see the green is in there. Okay, but it's all right. We'll lighten things up a little later. Right now, I'm just putting it in there. It's okay. I'm building up texture. I'm building up color. I'm just building stuff. All right. Now, why am I doing it like this instead of doing one of these numbers? Well, it's all about texture now. All right. Once this stuff's dry, because I'm not using any glycerin, this is just paint, wet on dry, right on the board itself. Okay, I'm gonna use a little bit more yellow. Go in here, use a little more black. All right. All right. Now, if that guy is saying all that nice politically correct language is being heard over here, obviously I won't get monetized, but it's all right. But I think he's low enough that you guys really can't hear what the heck he's saying. He's too much. Not enough for YouTube Day. Be concerned about it. I like that green. I'm going to continue with that green. So, more yellow. I'm still wondering what to put here. I think I'm going to put some rocks in there for some nice reflections down there in those colors. That I'll probably most likely do. And that way I can kind of have fun with the water lines and stuff when I put the little boulders in there. All right, come up here, add little tree looking things up there, and just kind of cover up where the tape didn't exactly make it really too good there. All right, and I'm just coming on there, all up in here. All right, come out here, get as close to the shore as you can. Get some more color. Get some more yellow, just like this. Get a little touch of black, pop it in there. All right, all right. Once again, more text. It's just texture. I'm not thinking about hills or anything. It's just texture. We're gonna do all the do all of that in the highlighting. Right now, it's just building texture, just getting the groundwork going with this. I usually 98% of the time don't work with a photograph. Probably which way I'm stuck. I can do something per photograph if I desired to. I can have it look a lot like the photograph if I chose to. But usually if it's a commission thing, I'll do it. Other than that, I usually just freestyle it like I'm doing right now. I did do a few examples way back in the beginning of photographed stuff. The Blue Jays I did do from a photograph. Mainly for the markings. Actually drawing the birds wasn't really no big thing. I drew before I ever could paint, so painting the birds or drawing the birds wasn't no challenge. It's actually the markings. Okay, the way the feathers go, how far they go. And even then I altered it a little bit. All right, so we got this green. Now you see it's green, okay? The black and yellow type of green. All right. Don't worry about, little things like that. Don't worry about that. I can get rid of it, but don't need to do anything with that right now. All right, this we can throw some boulders in there. We'll throw a few in there. The boulders I can have black, just because they're really not that important. They're not that significant. They're just little boulders I put in there. So I'll put them in there in black. Now you have to. It's a very thin brush, about a 1/4-inch brush. Think of placement. Think of where you're gonna put and how small they are, like that. Okay, and we'll have it come up at an angle. And if an angle, you know, it goes perfectly straight like that. All right, I messed up here, so now I gotta make it a little bit bigger. It's all right if you mess up. It's all right, you know, something like that. All right, so I just made it a lot larger. Oops. When you make them larger, you kind of change the vantage point of some of these guys. Okay, so keep that in mind. We'll pop one here. We'll get one right there in the middle, like that. He's going to cause a little bit of pain right in there. He's just in the way. All right. Now, when you put rocks in the middle of your little stream, it changes the depth of the water when you do things like that. All right. All right. Pop one in here like this. He's a little bigger. He's a little higher up. Okay. If you want it at an angle, you paint it at an angle. All right. All right. Like so. Now you just, you know, once again, just paint it at an angle. All right. Let's continue on. Now, where this part of the land is located, of course, you're gonna see that side of the rock, you know, like that. To build a little bit of depth and perception, okay, it's a little bigger, but you're not gonna see where he's not gonna come past the hill. So he's like all up in here like this. He's a little bigger. Make him a little larger, like that. So you got one that's hanging around here. Oh, I'll just kind of make it trail off there. Put a little peak on him here a little more. All right. We'll put one hefty one right up in here like this. All right, just like that, and come. Oh, something like that. All right, and come up here, and all right, something like that. All right, let's go on the other side. We'll have a nice one come out here, come down a little bit, come out, and maybe we'll have him come up in and give him let's have him go a little higher. You can always adjust it, come out. Actually, let's have him come down a little bit, like that, and then peek out like this. All right, I'll use a bigger brush to color him in, but he's like right around in there. But before I use a brush, change the brush, yeah, right in that crook right there. We'll just pop one right in here like this, something like that. Once again, I'll put them all in black. It doesn't matter. We're gonna fill it in and shade them and put texture to them in a few minutes. On the bottom of the river, make it straight. Whatever you do up here is whatever you do, but when it's touching that water, it's straight. Okay, that's how you get your water's not lopsided. It's not looking crazy. All right, the surface of your water, your rocks, straight. Okay, all right. I'll put a couple little ones in here like this, whatever. Yeah, something like that. All right. Maybe another little one up here, something like that. All right. Okay. And you see they get gradually smaller, smaller. Should I put anything over here? Not necessarily. Let's clean this little brush off. I won't need it as of right now. All right, Jessica. All right. I put a little bit of water in the black paint. Just a little bit of water. And we'll just kind of, once again, block all of this in. A little bit of water, just a little touch of water. Actually, this stuff is just being blocked in. It doesn't matter. All right. All right. Once again, I'm just blocking in color. Like so. All right. Yeah, all right, we're good. We're good. Okay. We'll get a little bit of I'll come here. We'll get I'll just touch like this. Just for the rock reflection. I'll just kind of. All right. Something like that. A little higher here, and then obviously a little higher here. Okay. All right, something like that. We'll kind of add some stuff right in here. It doesn't matter. A little higher up here and toward the top, like this. Okay. I know you can't tell what's what yet, but you will once I put the water lines in there. Okay. So you'll see it in a second. Really simple to do this stuff. You just really mimic what you see on top. All right. It doesn't necessarily have to be perfect. You'll see in a second or two. You'll see what I'm talking about. And we'll just put this up there, something like that. A little something here too. It's just a perception of reflection. All right. Because they're kind of far away. All right. All right. Like I say, we'll put water lines and all of that in there. All right. Okay. I don't need a brush that large to paint the rock color. I get a little touch of white. We'll put it right in this corner here. All right. For the smaller rocks, we'll throw in some of this gray. I might make it a little lighter. All right. Like that. Okay. First pass. I gotta be careful because this stuff is still wet here on the bottom. All right. And I'll kind of. Now you don't get rid of all that black. Okay. All right. And get some of that rock texture. I'll just use the side of the brush. Once again, kind of incidental stuff happening there. You're gonna brighten this up. Don't worry about that. Right now it's just kind of more or less secondary blocking. Now you're blocking in the color of the rock overall. Light. The light tones will come a little later, obviously. Whatever direction you want the light tones to be in. Don't forget you got rocks on the other side. All right. You can be a lot more precise with your rocks if they were a little larger. They're a little small here on this. Okay. Okay. Up in there like that. Don't get rid of all that black. Okay, don't do that. Don't get rid of them all. Okay. And remember with acrylic paint, as it dries, it gets a little darker. Okay. So remember that, have that work for you, then against you. My dog just peeked in to see who I'm talking to. My dog probably just thinks I'm crazy because it appears I'm talking to myself. And he don't have to be concerned about that. As long as you don't answer yourself, you should be all right. I'm getting a little more titanium white, larger rocks. I'll just use the same brush. It doesn't matter at this point in time. All right, here we go. Use the side of the brush, a little tiny piece of a brush here, okay? And you can get your rock textures just like this. Just kind of scrape them in there like this. All right, once again, don't get rid of all the black. All right. And keep in mind, this stuff will get a little darker. Okay. They might look a little lackluster right now, but it will make sense once I put the lighter tones on there. Everything is a process. You got me? All right. And we'll come here and just kind of play around with it. When I was starting rocks, I was like really super careful. It used to take me a billion years until I seen the artists that knew what they were doing paint them, and they were pretty much nonchalant. And so I started to be nonchalant, and guess what happened? My rocks started looking like rocks. Okay. All right. Okay. All right, something like that. All right. Now, can I add some of that gray to the bottom down here? You most certainly can. I wouldn't do it in that way. You do it in the shape of the water, in the direction the water is going. How about that? So for this bigger one here, you can kind of pop it in there like this. Go in the direction the water is going. I'm gonna get a little bit of water, mix some of this gray, liquefy it a little bit, add some white. All right. You don't want to make it too bright. Man. All right. All right. I'm just kind of swiping little bits of color in there. When you get down here, it really doesn't matter. It's too close for all of that. All right. Okay. Get a little bit of white. It's still going to be gray, but it's going to be extremely bright. All right, so it's still going to have that gray mix in this white. Still going to be contaminated a little bit. All right. Now, we'll go from here. You know where the light source is, okay? And kind of look at this. Pretty much where you would figure the highlights would be on this guy. And I'm using the side of the brush because it's grabbing the paint that was previously put on. You follow me? Okay. All right. Like so. And you put it to where you would figure a little bit of that sunlight would catch on the rocks. You got me? Up in here, down here. You don't have to cover the whole rock because obviously the sunlight's not going to touch all of that. Obviously it's going to hit the top. You might get a little something on the side, but okay. over here and do the same thing. All right, up in here, up there, like that. Yeah, I know what you're saying, Fatima. But once again, as you do them more and more, you'll get accustomed to them, and you will. Some of these rocks are a little far away. Alright. Okay. Okay, let's get a little bit of white. We'll put it around in here somewhere like that. Can you guys see that? Yes, you can. I'll just aim the camera up a little bit like that. All right, I'll just take it and a little swipe across like so. When I'm this far away, all it does take really is just a touch, if you can get it. They just angle the knife a little bit like that. All right. It's usually the angle of the knife. All right. As you get closer, you travel it a little bit. And you see there's little skips in there, which is fine. That's good. All right. Right in here, we'll kind of get it going there. Kind of rub it in there like that. Instant separation of instant separation there. And sometimes all it takes is just a touch. You got me? You can get like little bits up here. We'll come up here and we'll concentrate a lot of that light. And this is just pure white and a couple of taps up in here, just to where all that sunlight is hitting there. All right. And as you go further down, they don't have to be there as prominent. All right. Not as prominent, still there, but not as strong. But remember, keep them straight. Do your best to keep them as straight as possible. Ran out of white paint as usual, but that's all right. All right. All right, something like that. Okay, so you got your little sparkles and stuff like that. You don't have to add too much, because remember, the color is actually what's selling this thing. Okay. As I get lower down in the rock area, I don't necessarily have to do this. You don't have to either, because we got our little texture going. You don't have to do what I'm about to do. Take a little touch of white, not much. Spread it out as thin as you can. Get a little bit, very little bit. I'll come here with the palette knife. Now, you don't have to do this. I'll come with the palette knife and I'll kind of add some of that brightness in there. And Okay, and we'll come up this way. I don't have to add too much of that. Just be careful. I'll come up here. All right. You don't always have to use the long side of the you don't have to use the long side of the palette knife. Come here on the side. All right. Sometimes once again it only takes a touch. I really have to, this knife is very old, so it's got caked up paint on it, so it's not really catching on this side. Of course that yellow got me. Ugh. There. That's better. There we go. All right, so you can see the light hitting off the rocks a bit here, a little stronger. All right, we can start messing with some of this groundwork up in here. I can take, well, before I do that, let's determine what do I want to put over here for texture. For I guess I'll use this. I can do a light greenish yellow thing happening here. So I got a little bit of blue, so I'll use the blue and yellow. Okay. All right, a little more yellow in there. I don't want it, I don't really want white mixed in. I don't want it super duper bright. And we can start adding in different pockets of whatever. So if I went in here and add a couple of bright patches like this, all right, and then when you do this, well, here on the edge is pretty much solid there because the kind of the light's hitting directly there. Okay, but then I'll start to kind of bend it like so. I don't want it super bright yet. Goes in steps and stages there. Okay. Okay. Do it in stages. Okay. Right up around in here, where the fold is in the landscape. You figure that the sun is touching around in here somewhere. Once again, you don't want it excessively bright. You build that up a little bit, all right? Better to be safe than sorry. A little bit of blue, a little bit of green. Yeah, you build it up in stages. Build it up in stages, Mimu. Obviously that light's going to hit on the top, and I'm just doing little dot things here for right now. Okay, I can kind of trail this a little bit. I don't necessarily have to use a brush this size. Obviously, there's no sun behind the rocks, right? Makes sense. Yeah. You can come up around here, add a little bit here. Okay. All right. So as I'm checking things out here, right up around in here, I think you guys can see me do this. Right where the peaks are here. Now what I can do is highlight a part of the hill. It's how you shape your hill. And you bring it out this way. Okay, right up there, up on the top there. Makes it actually look higher than what it really is. You know, you put it up there. But like I said, it doesn't have to be super bright. You're not building up to that yet, as of yet. All right. A little more yellow. A little touch of blue, what I got left there. Doesn't matter. Very small brush. And we'll come up here and add a few things in here like that. All right. Okay. I'm looking here. Come here, add a little bit of that right here in this edge there, that little fold right in here. Okay. Oh, yeah, you got a little bit of love coming over on this side. Be choosy where you're putting this light stuff. Your eyes will put all of this together. You got me? All right, something like that. You don't always have to use the same brush. Okay. All right. Do I keep the same angle? It's really up to you what your hand's comfortable with. But yeah, if you're doing a palette knife, okay, and say your angle's this, all right, depending on how you hold the palette knife, if you hold it this way, your angle goes that way. You don't turn your knife, okay, unless you're holding your knife like this, okay, then well, you would start. Well, if you're right-handed, okay, and you do it, you're gonna go from here that way. If you held it flat, okay, you're still going, well, you're going to go the opposite way. You're going to go here and go down, where it's going to get thicker down here. So it's all on how you want to texture your mountain, grass, whatever you're doing when you're doing the palette knife. If you're using a palette knife with the water, just like you see here, it's got to be horizontal. It's got to be straight. Okay, it's got to be straight. All right, but doing angles, if you hold it this way or this way, you still got to go with the angles because it is a hill. You follow me? Okay. I'm just picking out a brush. Something I don't want that one though. Bear with me 1 second. Well, I guess I'll use this thing. It doesn't matter. I want this to kind of fly by now. Let's take some of this darker color. I'm using a 1-inch brush with a whole lot of bristles in it. Now, red, no matter what color red, is kind of an eye catcher. It's you know, wherever you put it, your eyes are going to lead to it. Now, we got two opposite colors here. Okay. I was going to really brighten it with green, but let's color it up a little bit. Let's make it a little pretty. Where you see dark areas, you can kind of put the red there. Like this. I'm going to do it deliberately in the darker areas. on purpose. I gotta wet this just a little bit. All right, there we go. Now remember, I am operating wet on dry. You got me? Okay. Now, remember this little slope area? And that's just how you're going to do it. You're going to do it at an angle. And since it's a darker color, I can kind of get away with popping them down there like that. I'll put a couple in here, not too much. They're more on that side. I'll pop in a few, because it's dark and I can get away with it with that deep red. All right, so it kind of aids in that. That's fine. You're good. You're cool. That'll work. I'll put a couple of little bits in there, not too much. Nothing to write home to mom about. All right, enough of that. Oh, well, I really don't want to do, I don't want to do that, but I'll do it anyway just because. A little bit of white, a little bit of yellow. I got this large brush, but I'm not going to use all of the bristles. Be careful. Right up here on the top, right like on the edge. Not much, not much, a little bit. Come on this edge, you can add a little love here on that corner. Give it a touch just to see where you are with it. And I am painting wet on dry. Okay. I'll put it around here where it's kind of flat at, so it's really pretty much on the top. All right, we'll get a little bit of glow, a little bit of love on the hillside. We'll pop in a little bit of something right up in there. Right here. You got to be mindful where you're going to put this bright stuff at. Okay. And I am deliberately pressing, going a little slow. Okay. And we'll put a little something up in here. It's all right. It's cool. It's all right. It'll work. We're almost there. We're almost there. Almost. I'm going to take I'm going to add the other thing because I like doing it. It really adds to your painting. And I'll show you guys here. Let's get a little bit of white. We'll put the white right in there. Get a little touch of yellow. We'll put the yellow right in there, right on top of that white. I don't think I got enough blue. So hold on 1 second for me. This is Prussian blue, very, very dark blue. This is Prussian blue, very dark blue. I'll put it right in there like this. All right, so we got this kind of green happening there. I'm looking at it. You have to be very watery, which is kind of funny considering I'm using a script liner. But it has to be an inky consistency to do this, to get away with it. All right. All right, when you do this, I'll zoom in for this part. Okay. All right. So just be careful in this darker area, and you kind of cross it there. Keep going. Keep going with it. Don't get discouraged. Don't stop. Okay. Go in different directions, different sizes. It's all right. All right. Just keep it going. I take my brush, I twirl it around. Some of the paint might be a little thick. It's all right. Okay. All right. I don't really want to touch that. It's all right. No, if you want, I'll do it because, well, I done made a mistake anyway. Not really a mistake, but down there, right in here. Add a few of them guys down there. Okay. If you got one that's going forward, you paint it forward. You got one that's going backwards, paint it backwards. All right. That's like so. Okay. Way back here, you don't necessarily need it. I would particularly use a smaller brush, but it's up to you. If you feel you can do it, go for it. It's all good. You just gotta remember they're not the same size. It's further away. It is bright enough that you can see them. Okay. And you can add a little bit of love down below too. If you're got that stickler for detail, add it down there. All right, it's okay. You're all right. You're good. Over here on the other side, you're gonna do the same thing. Yeah, you start them right here. Not too large. Kind of pop them in there like this. Put it by the rock there. Come on out this way. Add some. They're still bright enough to where you can see it, but it's not gaudy. Okay. They don't look like little stick missiles sticking up in the air. I don't have to add them that far. I'll add some more here. And come out this way, look, a little bit. All right, get a little more water. They can be a little larger back here. And you can go a little slower if you want. Curve them in there a little bit, just like that. All right. Roll up some more ink and kind of pop them there. Go a little slower so they appear a little thicker. Make them a little taller. It's the bottom of the paper, the edge of the canvas rather. See, make them a little taller. Group them together. Depending on how much time you want to spend with it. All right. Now, all right. Now, if you want, I'm gonna go a little get into the white a little bit, more and more detail. All right. So it's a little bit brighter. You don't necessarily go on the bottom. You can go like halfway up and add the little tips on these guys. See, go in different directions. If you find it paint getting a little thin, get some more. Just like that. Alright. So if you add a little bit of sunlight peeking through there, popping off on a couple of these guys. If you can feel you can do it, you need it, add it. Even out here, you feel you got a couple that are catching the glow a little bit, add them in there. It's like this. See? Right up in here, add a few, just like that. You don't have to overdo it, just a few. Okay. Come out here. Like so. Alright. You don't have to add them all over the place. You can add a few up in here. If the paint's a little thin, you can get away with throwing a few of these guys out this way. If you must, pop in a few of them little glowers back down there. Don't forget, you got some down here, then add them in here like this. See, it's like that. Come on in here, add a few there. You got a couple here, add them here. Don't forget those. Cross them, just like that. All of that adds to the scene itself. It's very rare that I don't add like a giant tree sticking up in the air somewhere. This one really doesn't need it. Hey, it matters. How are you? Yeah, I had them for a minute. It Matters was around way before I knew you guys, Sonya. Yeah, it's good to see you. Okay. I'll throw a name in there. I'll pop a signature right in there like that. Like I said, this is what you get when it's not really planned much. I don't plan a majority of them, but I really didn't plan this guy. I knew that I was going to do something with the clouds. That's about all I can tell you. Everything else, the little creek here, I kind of thought that up as I was going along. I didn't know really what I was going to do today. I really wasn't going to do anything because after I did the birds, the two birds, that was really going to be it. I got painting. I got a live stream on Saturday, 5 o'clock. All right. Hold on for a second. Let me get this straightened up. I'll touch focus real good here. All right. Technically, I don't need this bottom to show. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna do this. I don't know if it will. I forget. I don't think the other one's gonna show well, but we'll see. I'm gonna change the viewpoint where you guys can see the actual size of this thing. Right now, it's scrunched in. So let's change the angle a little bit there, like that. That's what she looks like. That's what she looks like. Okay, it's about how wide it is. Let's adjust that focus, make it a little stronger. I think you guys can still hear me. And let's peel the tape off here. Thank you, It Matters. I appreciate it. No, oh, I forgot I don't have no tape in the back of this board. It's just a tape that I put on here. Now, remember I used an X-Acto knife on this earlier, so that's why you get the slices like that. So, but it's all right. It's okay. It's all good. Come on. Here we go. It's your preference. It's my preference because it makes it look a little more professional to me. That's just my opinion. But that's why I tape the edges. All right, well, there you go, guys. Not the most complicated painting in the world. Very pastelish colors on purpose. A little brighter than what I would normally do. I don't really do too many of these. I can do them, but I don't do them. But as you can see, if you remember how I did the clouds and how everything started out, okay, it did look kind of haphazard and crazy. But I just used light and colors. Not really the largest color palette in the world. You know, just the browns, the purple, magentas, yellow, and white. Okay. The bottom here is just in black, and then I just put the yellow and black together to make the deep green, and then some yellow and white to give the highlights, and got some deep magentas in there. Okay. Direct color correlation with the sky for the water, and you got the little shine glistening stuff going on with it, and that's really it. No more, no less. What makes the clouds, obviously, is the silver linings that I put in there, which once again brings this out towards us. This stuff sit back. Even this up here comes forward just because of the silver linings. If I did not put the silver linings in, this would be further back also. And this will probably appear to come up even further. Okay, so, but that's basically what it is here. All right, well, thank you, Mew Mew. Thank you, Travel Dreamer. Yeah, it does. No problem, it matters. It does make a difference. Because remember, when you're dealing with acrylic, it's basically your liquid plastic, and if it creates a coating over the tape and the canvas or whatever you use, when you go to peel it and you peel in the direction of the painting, guess what? You're going to get a rip going through your painting. Okay, so you pull. If you're on the bottom, you pull and you aim downward. If you're to the left or to the right, you just pull in the opposite direction. Okay. Yeah, you know, up here, you would just peel upward, pull, peel upward, and you should get a nice sharp line all the way around. Okay, no fuss, no muss, no issues. Okay. So I will be painting on Artfully Blind with Diana. I did put a link on my Facebook page. I may have dropped one in the on my YouTube channel, I think. But I know I definitely put it on my Facebook page. But it will be on Eastern Standard Time. It'll be 5 p.m. on Saturday. So don't know what I'm going to do there either, but I'm pretty sure I'll decide on what I'm going to do by the time that comes on Saturday. So anyway, you guys know the deal. I'll be taking a picture of this. I'll post it on Facebook, post it on Instagram. All right. I don't think there's anything else. You guys be good, be safe, and all of that good stuff. I'll see you when I see you. All right. Peace.